Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. I am going to teach you how to take a typical worksheet that's saved as a PDF on your computer and turn it into an interactive worksheet. So what I mean by that is that your students will be able to respond using Google Slides. They'll be able to actually type in responses. There's also, you can use, maybe they're doing like a multiple choice worksheet or a multiple choice test, that you can actually have them drag and drop circles around whichever answer choices they want to do. I've seen, and I've actually used a couple for math that allows you to use, draw like a couple, like say 5 black circles, and then they can plot them on a line plot or a coordinate plane or whatever you might be doing. Use the lines to graph all kinds of things. There's a lot of things you can do with it once you get playing. And you can actually maybe get into the point where you'll actually start creating your own worksheets, which is time consuming, but worth it in the end if you're interested. So for this video, I'm just going to teach you how to take something that is already created, already done, and just make it so that your students can do it from home using their iPads and then turn it back into you. You can use it in Google Classroom. You can use it with class pages, whatever platform you might be using to send out assignments to your students. So there is 2 ways that you can do this first step. I'm going to show you both. Whichever way works for you is great. So the first thing we have to do is take the pages we want to use and turn them into image files. And in order to do that, you can either take a screenshot or use the export option. So for the first one, I'm going to show you how to take a screenshot. So I'm going to make sure I put mine in full view. And I'm using a Mac, and so you're going to use a shortcut using the keyboard. If you're a PC user, so using a computer that might run on Windows, you most likely have the snippet tool that you can use to do this. So for those of you using the Mac, you're going to hold down the command button, which is on either side of the space bar. Hold down the shift button, and with your other hand, hit the number 4 key. And as you can tell, my cursor turns into this little crosshairs. And I always click up in the top corner and I drag all the way down to the other corner. And once you let go of the touchpad, it's going to take a picture like that. So I escape. And now I'm back to smaller view, and you can see that it will go right to your desktop. And that's kind of where I like my stuff to go. It's easier to work from there, and it's also easy to clean up when I'm done. So when I'm done, I can just go through, delete what I don't need anymore. So that's how you can use screenshot to save part of a PDF document as an image. I know a lot of the times I get questions, I have a 40-page PDF, but I only need 1 page. How do I get it by itself? Well, that's a quick way. Just do a screenshot. There's actually 2 other ways. The next way would be, especially for this, because I need it as an image file, I'm going to select page 3. It's super important that you make sure that it's highlighted, because when you use the export option, it's not going to export the entire document as an image. It's only going to export the page that you're viewing. So make sure you're on the page that you want. Go to File, Export. You can name it. You don't have to. Again, I make sure that it's saved to desktop. That's where I like to work from when I'm creating stuff. But right here is where it makes a difference. At the very bottom here, it says Format. Beside it is a drop-down box. And you want to go up to JPEG and hit Save, and it will pop up right here. So now that I have both of the worksheets that I want saved as images, I'm going to get rid of my PDF. I'm going to go online. You can use Chrome, Safari, Firefox, whatever you might use. Log into your Google account. Go into Google Slides. Create a blank presentation. There's a couple little, I would call house cleaning items I do here. So one, I go ahead and title it. So for me, I'm just going to title it Demo. Right now, themes pops up all the time when you get started. You're not going to need them. You can hit that X. And then I always get rid of the text boxes that are already here. You just click on them and hit the delete key. Now, the next one, it's pretty important, is to turn your page size into the same page size as regular paper. So you're going to go File, Page Setup, hit the drop down arrow, go to Custom, and type in 8 by 11. Make sure it's in inches. Apply. And as you can see, it changes the shape and size of the paper. And now you're going to go ahead and import your images, but you have to import them as a background, and that makes it so the students cannot delete your whole worksheet. So you're going to come in here, hit Choose Image. This is another reason why I like to save stuff to my desktop, because I can just drag and drop right in. As you see it appear behind here, you can hit done. And what's nice about this, see, is what I'm saying is they can't click on it and delete it like an image. A lot of people were taking images and inserting them and just expanding them to fill the page, but any kid could click off and then just delete the whole background. Here, they can't do that unless you'd actually go to change background, which most kids wouldn't have any need or want to do that. Then I'm going to come up here and hit the down arrow and add another blank slide. Hit background again, choose image. Once my second page comes up, hit done. So now I have them both in, ready to go. So now I just have to create text boxes so students can input the responses. So right up here in your menu, almost in the middle, you'll see a little square with a T in it, text box. You're going to select that and you click in wherever you want it and drag to make it as big as you want. This one I'm going to make a little smaller because you don't want it to be over the title in the box, because then the students would actually be typing over top of that word detail. So in the box, I usually type enter text here. So students know, okay, all I have to do is click right on that and I'll be able to start typing. Typically for me, I always turn it into this blue color so it stands out. This one's pretty colorful, so it doesn't stand out as much, but that's up to you. You don't have to. You can just leave it blank. You can make it any color you want. So what I do so I don't have to keep creating text boxes is I just copy and paste it into the other sections. So on a Mac, all you'd have to do is hit Command C to copy and then Command V to paste. And I'm going to do that 3 times, just the Command V 3 times. And then you can just drag and drop the boxes wherever you need them. You can readjust the sizes if you want as you take them. Like this one, there's part of the barn there, so you wouldn't want kids to type in that area, so you make it a little bit smaller. Some of the things that have come up for students when I've used these before is that are like, well, I couldn't fit it all in there. Well, what's nice about this is they can adjust the font size, so they would just have to highlight whatever's in the box, and they could decrease the font size. That way they could fit in whatever they needed to into that box. So that's that first worksheet. The second worksheet, we can actually hit Command V again. And this time you'll have to adjust the size because the box is shaped differently. And that way it's already done. And you just have to hit, I would hit Command C to copy this one and hit Command V 3 times for the other boxes. And you can make them a little bit bigger because these boxes don't have an image in them, so they won't be as short as item number 1 was. And what's nice about Google Slides is see how this red line is on the left-hand side? It's telling me that that's lined up with the same box in number 3. And if I drag here, it pops up here telling you that's where the other boxes end. So it's kind of nice. It keeps everything uniform. And I noticed this one, see how that line went all the way through? That box is in the center for all the other ones, but this is all the way to the left. So then this one you can drag, see how it's in line on the right-hand side too. So as picky as you want, as little as you want, it's up to you. So simply this worksheet's done. All you'd have to do is go ahead and create an assignment in Google Classroom or Class Pages. And the important thing to remember is when you upload the document in Google Classroom, you need to hit that. I think there's like a drop down arrow to the right of the file, and it says view, edit, or make a copy for each student. Make sure you make a copy for each student. That way each student will get their own copy of this worksheet. They'll be able to edit it. No one else will be editing their work, and then they'll be able to turn it into you. Same with Class Pages. If anyone is using Class Pages, you'll assign it, and then there's a little checkbox that you select for handout. And that way each student will get their own copy of the worksheet and be able to edit from there. No one will have to make their own copies and rename it and all that mess. So just remember that step when you go ahead and go to assign it. So that's how to do the basic text boxes. Another one I wanted to kind of show you real quick would be, I'm going to just add a blank to this one. In reality, you'd probably create a new slide because this would be a different subject. But I have, I guess it's not, this is reading, but it's 5th grade. I have a little checkpoint that I used for a novel we were using. And like I said, I just use screenshots, just is easier for me. So I'm going to screenshot this. I'm not going to screenshot the whole little quiz to show you, but I'm going to come here, go to background again, choose, drag it in. And for something like this, like I was talking about, this multiple choice. So there's no true draw option in Google Slides, so you can't just draw all over the paper and annotate it by any means, but you can draw shapes and lines. So what's nice about this is that you could come up here, select shape, and select circle, and I would just kind of size it out at first. And I'm thinking, for me too, I'm like, oh, that is really small. So come up here to the magnifying glass, and let's zoom in. And then I have to go ahead and hit the select tool again. So here's my circle. First thing I want to do is change a color. So I'm going to come up here to fill color, and you're going to want to go to transparent because you're going to want to be able to see what letter is underneath that circle when they move it. And you're going to want to change the border color. So right here's a border color. Maybe you want it hot pink. Maybe you want it red. I don't know. It's up to you. Pick your color. This right here is border weight. This will make it as thick or thin as you want your border. I like a 3. It stands out more to me. I make sure that it's a good size. So what I would do is kind of drag this. Some people put it on the numbers. Some people just kind of set them here or here, wherever you want to do it. But you would write in directions for them saying, drag and drop the red circle over each answer choice. So what I would do is I would take this and I would hit Command C to copy, Command V to paste, and then I would put a circle for each question. And then now when they come here, all they'd have to do is grab a circle and place it over their answer, and then they can go ahead and turn it into you. And then it's ready to assign. And they would just have to, like I said, use those circles. You could instruct them how to draw their own circles and circle their options. That's fine too. Sometimes I think it's just easier to just have it done for them, and they can drag and drop. And I know I use a lot of it at the end of the year this year for math. They're ones I actually purchased, but they're Google Slides done up like this, and the kids absolutely love them. It was so much better than writing it all down themselves or drawing it out. They like to be able to drag and drop things. Circle things like that. So that's the basic idea of how to take a basic PDF version of a worksheet and make it interactive. There's lots of other things you could do. Maybe kind of stay tuned. If I have some time, I'll be uploading some more. You can always hit the subscribe button and kind of follow what else I post. If you need help with anything, feel free to reach out to me. Have a great summer.